let's talk about Grosse Pointe restaurants and some of the really cool ones that we've been to lately.
Okay. Well, I heard you had a great dinner at the Bricks.
The Bricks is an awesome place, and I think most people go to the Bricks and they get pizza, and I think pizza's a cop-out because the food at Bricks is awesome. I got the arancini balls, which is like a rice ball with sauce, and then I got a pasta dinner with shrimp. That was awesome, and it was a lot better than pizza. So I'm not a pizza guy, but they do have great pizza. I think most people get pizza there.
Yeah, no, I've had their pizza too, and I've also been to this great place, Cafe Nini.
Cafe Nini's awesome.
And it's just one of those classic Italian menus. I mean, you can get everything from veal to chicken piccata, great specials with a bottle of wine. It's a really great date night too.
We always like sitting at the bar there.
Yes.
Lots of good conversation and good people just hanging out.
And people watching.
Yeah, good people watching at Cafe Nini. And then what's another one?
Another one would be
Bluefin?
Bluefin Sushi.
Yeah.
You know, we've got
Do you
a
like
good
sushi?
variety. Love sushi.
Really? Which
Yes.
one's your favorite?
Well, probably the dragon roll.
Oh, the dragon roll. Isn't that the one with the crispy fried onions on top of it?
I think that might be it.
That's a great place, and the atmosphere is good. It's a good vibe, and we can sit outside or inside. So
We can be outside,
yeah.
nothing like having a cocktail and watching the cars drive by and just chilling out.
Listen to the ambulances on Mac. Give me something about Grosse Pointe and some of the
Hidden gems?
hidden gems of Grosse Pointe.
Yes, that's true. It's like, you know, people drive down, you know, along the water and they just don't see everything. But some of the things that we like to highlight are the fact that there's these beautiful mansions, which you're going to see, but there's also a charming downtown area. Always something to see and do.
Yeah, one of the hidden things that I love about Grosse Pointe is when you're walking down some of the streets, there's these cut-throughs that go to Grosse Pointe Boulevard.
Yes.
And a lot of these streets that you rarely see off of Lakeshore go up and head north, and there's a cut-through that goes to Boulevard. So if you're walking down Grosse Pointe Boulevard, you might see a fence that goes back toward the lake, and those are the cut-throughs. And most every one of those streets has a cut-through, which is kind of cool.
They're really cool. I call those the secret paths.
Secret passageways, yeah.
You just never know.
Most of the high school kids know those secret passageways.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So
I can imagine,
yeah.
yes. But in terms of events in Grosse Pointe, we've got some cool ones in the evening. There's the After 6 on Kercheval.
After 6, yeah.
Yep. And there's also the Village Fest that happens in the village on Kercheval.
I like the After 6. They usually have a band in the evening,
Yes.
and they have food trucks, which I thought was kind of fun. You get some different food choices there, so it's a fun place. And
entertainment for the kids.
Entertainment for the kids. There's face painting usually, and I always like face painting. It's one of those things that kind of fun for the kids. And then the one in the village is mainly retailers, right?
It's mostly retailers, but they also have a band that's on a stage.
Okay.
They have
Any
different
band in
bands.
particular that you've heard there over the years?
You know, there's been so many good ones that you're just going to have to
I heard
come and
Bob
check it
Seger
out.
actually started at in the village at one of these events
I would
in the
bel-
'60s.
I believe it.
I don't know if that's any truth to that, but maybe another
gonna go with
Grosse
that.
Pointe wives' tale, but we'll see.
Yeah, for
so-
sure. Awesome. Well, let's also talk about the fact that Grosse Pointe has this rich history dating back to the early 1800s when it was found by French explorers. And as you drive around through Grosse Pointe, you'll notice a lot of French street names.
Yeah, and many of the streets were ribbon farms. So ribbon farms extended from the lake, which was a swamp in Grosse Pointe, but they drained the marsh and it became these lush farms. And the farms went from the lake all the way to Gratiot, which is about 3 miles, which is kind of interesting. Like 3 Mile, for example, 3 Mile Road was a ribbon farm 3 miles long. So kind of interesting Grosse Pointe knowledge. Many of the streets were ribbon farms. Rivard and St. Clair, I think, was another one. So lots of them were ribbon farms, and they're very narrow, and they went for miles. So and a lot of these folks knew each other, and they would commiserate and have markets together and sell their goods. And
For sure.
So that was kind of an interesting part of the Grosse Pointe history. But Grosse Pointe still remained Grosse Pointe, even though the ribbon farms are long gone. the community has lasted, and a lot of the friendships and relationships that existed many years ago are still viable. So
It's
it's
true. Those families, I mean, a lot of them just have not left. They
Right.
stay here, and even though their kids might move away, they end up coming back because there's something special here.
Yeah, there really is. The sense of community is like nowhere else.
Definitely. Now, if you're looking for a great place to eat in Grosse Pointe, there are plenty of options, from fine dining to casual cafes. You'll find something to suit your taste buds. What's one that
The
maybe
new
you've
one
been
we
to?
had coffee at last week.
That's right. Rouge Boulangerie.
I'm glad you said it because I certainly could not.
Another French
and then
name.
there's a new one they're putting in right on the next corner over.
That's
Do we know the
right.
name of that?
I believe it's going to be called the Brine.
And that's going to be a New Orleans style Creole restaurant, and it's really done
So excited for that
remarkably
one.
well. So
Yes.
we're looking forward to that this summer. And then there's a new burger place in the village where Murray was on the corner of St. Clair and Kirchville. I understand that's going in. So stay tuned for the report on that one.
There's a cool place called the Old Pony.
Old
That's
Pony
right by
has
the
been around for a while.
Trader Joe's
yeah,
area.
that's a fun one, and it's a walk to and from. They have lots of drink specials and good casual food. So it's a fun place.
Got to try the pineapple whip.
Pineapple
It's the
whip,
bomb.
yeah. Wasn't there another one there that like the I don't know. There's a whole host of drinks. They've got a great drink menu.
For sure.
And good burgers and fries and casual bar food. So
Yes.
fun place.
Dining in and out, too,
Yeah.
in summer.
And what about Starbucks?
Well,
My
there's, Starbucks
My
everywhere.
favorite.
And, you got to get your caffeine.
It's
in
really
one way
just
or
a
another.
meetup. Everybody knows Starbucks, but the one in the village seems real popular, and it's fun.
does.
Fun to walk in and out of there in the morning.
Kind of a good community. You can find out what's going on, where,
Yeah,
and
it's
who's doing
it's
what.
it's definitely a hub. Village Grill. There's a place. Do you
now,
go to?
now
do
the
you,
Village Grill has been around
been around.
for a long time.
Sports
Yeah.
bar.
And if you have little kids, that's the place
Yeah.
to go. You can get in and out.
What about Sierra Station? That's
Oh
a
my
kid bar,
gosh,
right? That's
wow.
that's
Yes.
the last time I went there was when we had kids, and they play. You give them a roll of quarters, and they go play video games, and that
While
was
you're drinking a margarita.
right.
Yes.
Margaritas and happy hour, and it was a great place for the kids. So
Right.
yeah, it was a hard place to get them out of.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's Grosse Pointe.
Awesome. Well, we also have some of the best outdoor activities around. I mean, especially now in the summer, there's so many things to do. I mean, we've got...
You just got off the golf course, and now you're looking at me
Exactly.
like, okay, what are we doing here? So,
Right,
now,
right. I know. Golfing,
golf,
swimming.
boating is terrific,
Boating.
and today we're not really a good boating day because we're dealing with the Canadian wildfires. Thanks, Canada. But hopefully a big breeze will come through and take care of the wildfire smoke, and we can get back to boating. But
For
right now
sure.
it's not good.
For sure. We've got some great tennis courts and pickleball courts.
Pickleball,
My new
yeah.
favorite.
You play at local.
I
What is
play
it
over
called?
at Court 4.
Court 4.
Yes.
Yeah. The Dome.
The Dome.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a great place.
Right. Yeah, the Dome is a cool place. That
Mm-hmm.
I know the Dome had some problems after a storm recent. Was it last year that the Dome went down?
I believe so, but
Yeah.
now the Dome's back
Dome's
up.
back.
Mhm.
Dome's back, and so are the pickleballers. So
That's
it's
right.
it's a cool place.
Yeah.
And
And don't we have a place to go horseback riding here?
I think it's called the Grosse Pointe Equestrian Club, and that
Mm-hmm.
was the old hunt club and on Cook Road. And I think I see horses there, and there's lots of kids riding. So yeah, that's another place in Grosse Pointe for the kids.
Right.
A cool place. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, and we forgot about, just wanted to touch on fishing. I know how much you love to
Fishing,
fish.
and the fishing rodeos are coming up. It's June. The rodeo starts soon, so
Nice.
get your fishing pole ready,
Get ready.
and get ready to get out there and win some prizes because all the parks have fishing rodeos by around the 4th of July, I think. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, something to look forward to.
yeah,
Great. Now, what about all the people who love to take photos and post them on Instagram? Do we have some cool places here that you think would be...
Instagram-worthy spots
Exactly.
where
Yes.
Grosse Pointers can go besides the post office to film themselves.
That's right.
Besides the War Memorial, which we've already shot.
We've talked about that.
That's probably one of our most scenic places.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, all of the parks, all 5 parks
That's
are Instagram worthy, and
They
I
are.
think
They've got shots by the water. They've got shots in the marina. You could stand by a boat and pretend it's yours.
well, that's true. And or hose one off. You can hose mine off. It's down at the Shores Park. It's really dirty right now, but that's always fun. There's also 4th of July fireworks displays that we haven't talked about.
Yes,
So the
that's true.
Farms has one. The Yacht Club and the Shores have one on the 4th of July every year, and those are great events to take the kids. Really great sense of community there, patriotism. So that's another place
Yeah, those are all coming
It could be
up.
an Instagram-worthy
That's true.
shoot. So yeah. Any place else Instagram-worthy that you can think of?
Probably our clubs here, our private clubs. You know, we've got Lockmore, we've got Grosse Pointe Yacht Club, and we've got the Country Club of Detroit. And they all have beautiful grounds, and, you know, of course you need to be a member to venture on them, but they're beautiful places to take pictures.
Yep. And soon the library will reopen, the central branch on the hill, and I think that by the time that's done, that'll be a kind of a cool place to hang out. And
Yes.
I know there's outdoor tables and chairs and Wi-Fi, and that'll be back up soon. So
We're gonna have to have a coffee there.
if they have coffee, we'll do it. Yeah, that could be. Oh, we'll get it at Starbucks and
Yeah,
bring it
we'll
over.
bring it
Yeah,
over,
yeah,
for
that
sure.
Could be the
There we
place.
go.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about that Grosse Pointe's got this strong sense of community. It's got the great schools, plenty of amenities. But we haven't talked about the fact that, you know, diving into the whole history of Grosse Pointe, we have got this great new building, the Grosse Pointe Historical Society. So it was a building that existed and it needed to be updated, and they built this brand new facility, and it's a really great addition to the points. You can, let's say you buy an old house here and it's got some history and you want to know a little bit about it, you can contact the Historical Society and they will do a research for you on that house.
My understanding is that if you become a member of the Grosse Pointe Historical Society, which is very reasonable, they will do a somewhat of like an hour research on your property and provide, and they have most of the blueprints for many of the larger homes in Grosse Pointe, a history of the home. So
That's true.
yeah, so it's kind of an interesting place, and one that's brand new. And if you're interested, call them. They certainly can help.
Definitely.
With uncover some of the hidden history of his Grosse Pointe.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were just talking earlier about some of the great things about here that people don't think about all the time. But one of them is the fact that I love, you love, there is no traffic here. You don't have to worry about it. You're not going to hit a traffic jam going from work to school, wherever, unless a street's being repaved or something. But
The only traffic
great.
that's generally existing right now is the traffic from street construction. There's a lot
Right.
of construction in Grosse Pointe. So
which is good. 'Cause
yeah,
they're improving
No,
the
it's-
streets.
Yes,
so
Governor Whitmer
yeah.
is finally fixing the damn roads,
Yes,
and
she
so
is.
we're getting it here in Grosse
Go
Pointe.
Gretch.
Yeah, so that's a plus. A little short-term pain for long-term gain.
Right.
And but no traffic in Grosse Pointe, and that's something that many of the larger communities wrestle with, and we just don't have to deal with. So it's kind of neat. Yeah, what other feature of Grosse Pointe besides the water? Now the water is obviously one that we all like and enjoy.
We're close to a lot of great places. I mean, we are close to Belle Isle, which is now a state-run facility.
Yep.
It wasn't for a long time, but it's a great place to go. And speaking of Instagrammable spots,
Yeah.
that place has a lot of them too.
Right.
But it's really cool. It's got an aquarium there. It's got picnic areas, places to swim.
Yep. The fountain.
Yeah, the really cool fountain.
yeah.
That lots of pictures.
That's
there.
an Instagram-worthy spot.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the fountain on Belle Isle.
The giant slide.
The giant slide may be closed. There was some issues with some kids flying through the air on
You
that.
could get some great
Yeah.
videos. Those would
there was
take
some
off.
good. That was some good video. That went
Yes.
viral, and I think
I
made
think it
Belle
did.
Isle. It put Belle Isle on the map more than the casino and the
Right.
Grand Prix. But yeah, the Belle Isle is certainly Instagram worthy, and the freighters come close there, as they do in the park. So
Yes.
you know, when you're out at the Grosse Pointe Park or Windmill Point Park, and you look out at the end of the pier, freighters are literally a quarter mile away.
I've been out there, and it seems like they are just like right in front of
Yeah,
me.
it's a
amazing.
great vantage point
Yes.
to take a look at the freighters and see some of, and that's Instagram worthy.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of wrapping it up. I mean, we've talked about the fact that Grosse Pointe is a town full of, charm, history, natural beauty. And whether you're a local like we are or a visitor, you're always going to find something to discover.
Agree. Grosse Pointe is a sense of community like none other. On the weekends when you're out and about, it's not uncommon to run into dozens of people that you see and like and know. And Grosse Pointe's an interesting place and one we call home.
This is Grosse Pointe Life. Thank you so much for watching.
I'm the Grosse Pointe guy.
And I'm the Grosse Pointe gal.
Like and subscribe if you follow this, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.